All right, everybody, this is the first ever Window Seat 101. Class is in session, and we're going to show you how to pack for a week in Europe. We get the question all the time, what should I take, what shouldn't I take, what about the weather, how am I going to have enough room? And we're going to explain all of that and the 3 L's, layers, less is more, and locations. It's all coming up in this episode of Window Seat. All right, so we're about to do it again. We are going to Europe for an entire week. Can't wait. Got great tickets from Denver to Dublin, round trip for $400. You can't beat that, but it comes with a little bit of an asterisk, and that is that it's January. And so the weather may not be quite ideal. So we thought, hey, why not figure out what exactly to pack for a trip like this and show others how to do the same. We've done this before, but we've gotten a lot of questions from people about what exactly do you pack for a week in Europe? How do you know if you're packing the right things? And how do you leave room in that suitcase for all the souvenirs you want to bring home? So we're going to tackle all of that today and answer the 3 L's that we've come up with. Layers, less is more, and locations. These are critical things when it comes to packing your suitcase for Europe. And the most critical thing, really, is the suitcase itself. You've got to have a carry-on. You don't want to check a bag. It can be a real disaster if you check that thing and it gets lost at the airport. We've had it happen before. In Tunisia, we lost our suitcases. They didn't show back up to our houses for 3 weeks after that, and nobody wants to spend part of their vacation shopping for things that they already own just because they lost their suitcase. So always, always, always use a carry-on. Don't check a bag. So that raises the question, what carry-on should you use? And this is not a commercial. We didn't get anything for free for this. We paid full price for this Samsonite Freedom Hardside Expandable with double spinner wheels. It's a carry-on 21-inch, and this one is sage green. We actually bought it in 3 different colors because we like this suitcase so much. But it's nice, got a nice hard case, and it'll get the job done. And it's the perfect size for those carry-on bins on most of the international flights and the discount carriers that'll get you around Europe too. So get yourself a good carry-on like this one. Let's open it up. Looks like most carry-ons that you would see. It's got that flap that closes for your shoes and dirty clothes, and then it's got the straps that'll try and hold down your clothes in the main compartment too. So get your good carry-on, you're good to go. All right, so let's talk about what to put inside the suitcase. We mentioned those 3 L's. These are the 3 L's we've come up with here. Layers, less is more, and locations. These are all very critical when it comes to packing your suitcase. First, layers. That makes good sense, right? You pack layers, then you don't have to pack quite as many clothes. You can put a bunch of different looks together. And look, I'm no GQ model here, but I'm smart enough to know that if you pack one sweater, you can throw a t-shirt underneath it, you can throw a collared shirt underneath it, and suddenly you've got 2 or 3 outfits with basically just this one thing. So layers go in there. That's my sweater. And we'll talk about another layer that a lot of people don't think about, and that is a suit jacket. Now, you never know if you might have a meeting over there or a formal dinner, and do you think maybe I should bring a suit jacket? I bought this one like 15 years ago at Uniqlo for like $60. It never wrinkles. You never have to clean the thing. It's fantastic. I've used it year after year. I pack it almost every trip, and it comes in handy. So again, I'm not the best packer. I kind of throw it in here, but again, it's anti-wrinkle, so it doesn't really matter if it gets all wrinkled up. You just unpack it at the hotel, hang it on a hanger, you're good to go. And one more layer that is critical, I think, is a puffer jacket. This one's kind of bigger than most, and a lot of people might not want to take more than one coat on their trip, but I kind of do because this is like a ski jacket, but I like to take a nicer jacket too in case you're going out to dinner or something like that. So get yourself a nice puffer coat, get it all folded up inside there, and this is the one thing you can kind of roll in there and just kind of cram wherever there's room because it'll fit right in. And it will come in handy. You're going to want to take that, believe me, for sure. So we've got the layers covered. Now to the next L, that is less is more. And the key here is don't overdo it. I think we all have this tendency to pack too much stuff, and then if you notice at the end of the trip, you haven't worn half of the things you packed. So keep that in mind as you go to pack your suitcase. So less is more when it comes to shirts. I've got some collared shirts right here, and I'm only packing 3 of them, but keep in mind I'm going to be gone for a week. You can wear things twice. And the other idea to keep in mind is most hotels have laundry service. So if you're going to be in one location for more than one day, just give it to the laundry folks. They'll take care of it. It's better than having to overpack a suitcase and carry all that extra stuff around. So less is more. We've got that covered. Our second L with these collared shirts, just 3 for a 7-day trip. Now, some of you might think that's a little bit gross, but I'm okay with it. Just don't sit next to me on an airplane. You'll be good to go. Keeping with that less is more theme, we're talking about pants here. Again, we're going to be gone for a week. I'm packing 2 pairs of pants plus the ones I've got on. So there's 3 pairs, and some people might think even that is too much. Sean, by the way, he doesn't pack that many. Just pack 1 or 2 pairs, you're good to go. And you know, again, pants, they don't usually get dirty unless you're spilling stuff all over them. And if you do, you've got your hotel laundry service. So our main compartment already almost full, and we've only packed pants, jacket, shirts. So this is why you got to be very expeditious about what you're taking with you to Europe. All right, so let's get to the more unsavory part of the packing process now, and that is packing your underwear, or as my friend Walter from The Big Lebowski would call them.
My dirty undies, dude. Laundry. The whites.
Walter, I'm sure there's a reason you brought your dirty undies, man.
That's right, dude.
Here's my big wad of underwear right here. It's got socks and underwear and t-shirts and all that. So I usually pack a couple of t-shirts, one for a layer, one for wearing around the hotel room just to sort of lounge around. So I'm gonna cram those right in there. And then I always try to find as much extra room as I can for the rest. Again, you can shove underwear and socks wherever you can fit them. And so I've got a bunch of pairs of underwear. And this is where I don't scrimp. I pack one pair for every day I'm gonna be gone, because that's the one thing you don't want to rewear. So I've got my underwear right here. I'm gonna cram them in here. And again, I'm not Marie Kondo. I'm not really into the military role. I don't need to do any of that. Just get it in the suitcase, you'll be fine. So underwear are good. We've got socks now. And again, we can kind of cram those in any little nook and cranny we've got here. If you're into feng shui, look, I'm sorry. I know that I'm not your guy, but we're getting it done. Okay, so we've got 7 pairs of socks, 7 pairs of underwear. I also like to throw in a pair of shorts just for lounging around the hotel room. So we're covered. Our clothing compartment's pretty much full, and I've got those straps somewhere down there, so I'll get those tucked in and we'll get this thing strapped in together. Here we go. All right, so good to go when it comes to clothing. Now, the extra stuff that goes in the suitcase. This part's pretty easy, to be honest with you. You wanna take at least 2 pairs of shoes. One you're gonna wear on the plane, the other you're gonna pack, and this is critical. Wear on the plane the bulkiest pair of shoes you've got. It's gonna leave you extra room in that suitcase. So, wear the boots if that's what you're taking with you. And remember, if you got TSA pre, you can get through security pretty easily, even with a pair of bulky shoes these days. So these ones I'm gonna wear on the plane. These I'm gonna pack, and of course you could shove socks and underwear inside these too, just to make extra room, but you get that. I don't need to do that right now. Then you've got your toiletry bag. Of course, follow all the TSA rules. Minimal in that department. Don't pack extra stuff. There are pharmacies and drugstores all over Europe. You can pick up anything you might have forgotten. I can't tell you the number of times that I've gone and bought saline solution at some strange store in some weird town where I can't even read the label, but that's the price you pay for taking minimal stuff when it comes to toiletries. So here's my toiletry bag, just gonna shove it in there. And then it just comes down to utilitarian stuff. This bag, it's also sort of a dop kit, but it's full of all my electronics, my cords, my GoPro, all that sort of thing that I might need during the trip. I'm not taking a backpack this time, so I'm just trying to shove as much stuff as I can as possible into this suitcase. So I've got an extra sort of dop kit here with all the electronics. I'm gonna shove it in here too. And then here's the actual GoPro with the mount. I'll put it in there too. I'm gonna be holding that thing by hand most of the time, so not a big deal. I always like to pack a ball cap, because if you have bedhead and you have to leave first thing in the morning, you can just shove that thing on and not make a total fool of yourself. And then the little stuff that's crucial when you go to a place like Europe. You gotta have the right adapters, so I always throw in a couple of these. These are so easy to get. You can find them all over Amazon. Just search the country you're going to, the kind of adapter they use, and then find it on Amazon. I think I got these for like 10 bucks, piece of cake. So throw those in. You're all set when you go to a hotel. Most hotels now have USB ports too, so sometimes you don't even need those things. And then the little stuff. Have your passport with you. I have a travel wallet too. And the crucial thing about the passport is take a picture of it with your phone and have it on your phone at all times. I've done more than that, in fact. I've taken the main page of it and made a photocopy of it and put it in each bag that I have. That way, if your bags get lost, you've got it to always have an up-to-date copy of your passport on you or on your phone, because if something happens to your physical passport, that is how you're going to be able to get home. All right, so travel wallet's in. I got my hat, I got my GoPro, got a little extra room over here in this compartment actually for souvenirs, so I can shove some extra stuff there during my travels, and I can also grab some gift bags to put gifts in, you know, when I'm on my way back, because this is just the one carry-on. You'll still have that personal item. The key here is to maximize what you carry onto the plane. Don't check those bags, and keep in mind the 3 L's that we mentioned: layers, less is more, and location. Now, location's critical. If you're going somewhere cold in the winter in Europe, pack accordingly. Obviously, less is more. You don't need much. And layers, a sweater and a t-shirt, you're pretty much set. So there you have it. You've now all officially graduated from the very first Window Seat Academy, Packing for Europe 101. It's pretty common sense stuff, obviously, but if you follow the 3 L's, layers, less is more, and location, you're gonna be all set. Keep those layers in mind. Just a t-shirt and sweater is gonna get you through a lot of situations. Less is more. Take everything you've got in your suitcase and kind of cut it in half, and you'll probably be okay, because again, you don't need much when you're traveling to Europe. And location. Pay close attention to where you're going in Europe. Is it usually cold there? During the time of year you're going, is it warm? And pack accordingly. It's common sense, but if you follow these tips, I think you're going to be pretty much set. That's it for this episode of Window Seat. If we forgot anything, please let us know in the comments, and continue to follow our journeys by hitting like and share so we can spread the word about what we're doing here. And of course, if you'd be so kind, hit subscribe so you can follow our journeys as we travel to every country all around the world. We are back with a brand new episode of Window Seat next Friday. In the meantime, we hope you enjoy one of these other episodes from Window Seat.